Hey everyone, my name is Jack. I'm a strategy and innovation consultant living in New York City. I'm also a hobbyist photographer who started shooting around 8 years ago. So in my undergrad, I went through various phases of shooting. I was doing freelance, I was working as a print photographer for a fashion magazine, and I was also just working on various passion projects with friends. I also worked for Adobe as a student ambassador lead and would host Creative Cloud workshops and trainings and attend events like Lollapalooza and Adobe Max as a Lightroom ambassador. And while these were all great experiences, it led to me falling out of love with photography when I was being told what to shoot and what to do. I was just kind of executing other people's visions, and it all just started to feel like a chore while I was pursuing my undergrad in engineering. So in 2019, I started shooting film, which really changed how I approached photography, and it just kind of reignited my passion for it. But a few months in, both my film cameras broke, and I realized just how expensive it was to shoot film. So then during the lockdown of summer 2020, I started looking around for kind of digital cameras that could shoot more like film, and I stumbled upon the Fuji X100V, which at the time was hyped up because it had launched, I believe, in February, but it was mostly just by people already in the Fuji ecosystem, unlike it is today. So with the pandemic stimulus checks and unemployment checks coming in, I ended up buying the X100V and fell in love immediately. So this is my love letter to Fuji's X100 line. So why is the Fuji X100V just so good? So over the past 4 years having this thing, it has been my go-to camera to just kind of pick up and throw over my shoulder when leaving my apartment. And while the specs are great and even better in the Fuji X100 VI, I think ultimately that's the least important thing about these beautiful little cameras. What's most important to me is just how fun they are to shoot, having built-in film simulations that you can see live while shooting, or using the optical viewfinder and shooting it more like a 35mm rangefinder. I've just found this to be a much more enjoyable experience than shooting with big DSLRs or mirrorless cameras with super heavy lenses that just don't inspire me to pick it up and shoot something. And I also don't have to spend hours on my laptop in Lightroom editing pictures, which I eventually just got burnt out on. So with this, I just grab it, go out and have fun taking photos, which I think is something that's needed when you're facing burnout. It is kind of enormously lessened the pressure I felt using my larger Sony cameras, always trying to get, a banger photo. And so when shooting on the X100V, I just don't really care if my photos are shit. Frankly, I'm just kind of capturing moments and scenes that I find interesting and fun, and that has reignited my love for photography. On any trip I've gone on in the last 4 years, this has often been the only camera I bring because it does a great job of shooting everything I'd like to shoot, which are portraits, landscapes, and just kind of everyday photo documentation. So I didn't really want to make a video outlining the specs of a 4-year-old camera, but instead just wanted to kind of share a bit about my journey with photography and how this camera truly reignited a love and passion for taking photos. So my advice to anyone who may feel burnt out in any kind of creative medium is to just take a step back and find something about your craft that truly brings you joy. Maybe it's buying new tools, like in my case, new and fun camera, or maybe it's taking a step back from client work. Whatever it may be, I would just say kind of let yourself rediscover the excitement and the spark that got you started in the first place. Creativity isn't something you can force, it flows when you're truly inspired. So for me, the Fuji X100V became more than just a tool. It was a reminder of why I fell in love with photography in the first place.